Guys, understand that the only thing that fucking proves your worth is the work. So most of you guys aren't worth shit. What the fuck you have to understand is that you need to shut the fuck up. You need to be the individual to wake the fuck up and to do the work, to love the work, to put your heart and soul into the work. And so the less you do the work, well, the more you'll need to fucking talk. Because talking is like filling a void with the emptiness of your soul, of which you were supposed to fulfill through the fucking work. And so most of you guys, you put yourself on a pedestal of ego. You don't back your ego up with shit, but that bitch who sits there and fucking talks and believes that validation is what the fuck is gonna glorify you as the individual receiving quote-unquote perceived value. And so we have to understand that there's perceived value and there's actual value. And so the people who don't have actual value need to berate and they need to submerge and subvert actual power, because the mask they wear is quote-unquote valuable to society. You have to understand that we don't wear a fucking mask. The only thing we do and the only thing that validates the individual in the mirror is the fucking work we choose to do. We don't give a fuck. And if you're not gonna do shit to do shit, shut the fuck up. All of us, we're all going through time, and it's all our first time living. And so what we have to understand is that most of you guys are truly in a state of brain rot. And most of you guys will never come to the level of comprehension or consciousness that your life is truly a reflection of you at the deepest fundamentals of existence. Everything you see outside of you is a reflection of you. And the less you can use your brain to compute reality, the lesser your intelligence, the more your cognitive function is in a state of malfunction, the less you're able to actually interpret reality as a reflection of you. And so the realest to the real sit back and watch reality and allow reality to unfold to the highest levels of existing by doing the fucking work and doing what they need to do internally, externally, to make sure that what the fuck they want is aligned. And so you guys have to truly understand that the desires that you possess are simply a reflection of your soul. And most of you guys are possessed by desires. And so what you have to understand is that there are desires that fulfill you and complete you, and then there are desires that take away from you and deplete you. And so most of you guys are receding through life like a fucking 40-year-old porn addict's fucking hairline, and you're not actually doing shit to fix it. And so what you have to understand is that the less force and power and momentum you lack, the more you lack, you have to understand that you're compounding backwards. And so there's no such thing as neutrality in life. You're either going up or you're going down. And the more down you go, the more you have to pretend to be up. And this is why most of you guys are so fucking fake. We could compare you to a fucking plastic bottle. So you guys don't actually understand. The more faker you are, it's likely because you have to hide from something. And so when the mirror reflects back your iniquity, the best thing to do is to shut the fuck up and allow yourself to be exposed. And the less you allow yourself to be exposed, the more you'll need to hide, and the more you'll need to create a charade, and the more you'll need to enforce yourself, because you genuinely lack the mental clarity to see yourself for what you are. And so what do we provide? We provide mental fucking clarity, because most of you guys don't actually understand that you have to lie to yourself to exist in quote unquote peace, which isn't peace, because the moment we strip you of your mental makeup, here you are fucking cowarding in fear. Here you are a fucking coward, and you can't confront the bitch in the mirror. And so the best thing to understand is that the things you hide away, you should confront. And the realest to the real confront themselves and face themselves. And the fakest to the fake need to avoid what's keeping them in hell. And so most of you guys don't understand that we exist in a state of mental realms. And so until you could actually comprehend that everything you experience in reality is being actively interpreted by your mind. So your mind is what you exist within. Therefore, your reality is perceived through your mind. So if you can manipulate your mind to a higher level of mental navigation, if you can get yourself to a higher plane internally, well, your reality will naturally shift. And so we could give you the money, and we can give you the confidence, and we can give you everything you could ever want. But if you don't lack the internal, and so you guys need to actually understand that you can get and receive everything you want out of life. But if you're not actually the emanation of, aka the origin of what the fuck you want, aka if you receive wealth but you're not the origin of wealth, thus the world has gifted you wealth, you are not the reflection of wealth, well, you will lose the wealth because you are in actuality poor. And so everything that you see outside of you is a reflection of what is within you. And so before you complain about the world to the world, look inside yourself and realize that the iniquity and the inadequacy of what you reverberate into the universe is truly what the fuck you are. So most of you guys are quick to avoid and to devoid and to put yourself in a void and to become a void and to reverberate nothing but voidfulness, and then to avoid the factor of void with a fucking mask. So what you guys have to understand is that everything you experience is originating within you. And the better you are at actually understanding this, the more accountability and responsibility you'll realize that you have over your life. But you have to understand that responsibility and accountability correlate to the level of power, because power is simply the ability to manipulate outcomes, aka reality, to your will, aka control. And so if you control yourself, well, now you have leverage to control the outer reality, because if all you have in this life is yourself, well, you have to understand that the moment you control that, you now have the most powerful asset. So most people don't control themselves. Most people are controlled. Not just controlled in a figurative sense, but genuinely controlled by outer reality. You have to understand that if we strip you from everything in your outer reality, what the fuck is left? You have to understand that nothing but a coward is left. Nothing but an individual who can't get the shit done. Nothing but an individual who can't pull their pants up, that can't put on their bootstraps, that can't tie their shoes and march out into the world to accomplish what they fucking want. And so most of you guys truly believe that you are what you wear. Most of you guys truly believe you are what you have. But the moment we take it away, here you are stripped down, and now we have to be reminded of the embarrassment of what you actually are, because now you have nothing protecting you, and you no longer can pretend to be the prized possession. You now have to sit there in the reflection of what you truly are. And so the realists of the real confront themselves and realize that I'm right and this is true. And it's not a fucking emotional warfare to destroy you and to bring you down. It's a call to a higher calling. And most of you guys can't hear the call because you're so diluted and polluted by your ego, aka yourself, aka the delusion and the illusion of what you have to exist in. Because if you confront the truth, now you realize that you are nothing. But most of you guys don't understand that before something happens, there's nothing. And so nothing is boundless, infinite potential. And so the less you are favored by God, aka the less you are favored by yourself, aka the less you truly want to see this potential, the more you're okay with the illusion, the more you're okay with being stuck and confined into a box and being beat into submissions by the things around you, aka the cadences which drive you and compel you to remain an unconscious, dwindling, fading star, aka a fading light. Most of you guys never actually look in the mirror and implode on yourself to get to that higher level, to really compress yourself into an evolutionary stance, aka cause of the effect, aka Big Bang. So much you guys will never really understand, but the best thing to fucking do is to open your fucking notebook, to put out some fucking notes, and to ingrain this into your mind, and to entrain yourself to a higher frequency. It's that fucking simple. Peace.